Yes, so we are live. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Hello, today we have Brenda. Brenda.
Yay. Hi, Lila.
Yes, yeah, thanks for setting aside your time to come on live today. And
Well,
Anita is running some errands, right? She has some family commitments. Yeah, so have you taken your lunch?
not yet.
Yeah, again, why every time never take lunch yet?
Yeah, I was trying to finish up my work before I can come on live. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have lunch after this, right? But for our audience out there, you can have your lunch and then you just enjoy this conversation.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah. So I mean, for a brief introduction of what we do, Voices of Courage Asia is a channel that we want to empower women and empower our audience, with sharing of life experiences, stories of
Mm,
courage, practical tips and strategies, so that you can live a life of courage and significance, right? So my name
yes.
is Lillian, and of course with me is Brenda. We are
Hi.
partners. Yeah, we are partners at Social and Class Living, which is our social enterprise, as well as our community, Women of Courage Asia. So both are women empowerment platforms where we contribute back, yeah, to the community through a monthly empowerment meeting, which we just had on Tuesday evening. Yeah, and Brenda shared her story of courage. So later we'll talk a little bit about that, her
Okay.
experience on that. Right. So besides the monthly empowerment meeting, we also have like trainings, mentoring, coaching, and of course the community support. So, but for Voices of Courage Asia, we are doing this series called Courage to Be You, and it is based on this proprietary framework called the Courage Blueprint, which I developed for coaching and mentoring purpose. Right? It's a growth roadmap guided by a process of three attributes addressing 9 areas of your life. Okay, and then as well as the building and cultivating these 7 critical core values, right, to help you stay grounded and in your identity, right, and your purpose in life. So that's about the Courage Blueprint, as well as the purpose and objective of this channel. Right. So today, what are we going to talk about today?
Oh, yeah, before that, we haven't shared in the Facebook page.
Yeah. You do that. You do that. Well, I'll just do a quick recap. About how far we have come.
Okay.
We have been following the blueprint. Talking about starting all the way from you. We talk about your body, soul, spirit. We talk about the different. We started with the R's, the 3 R's, and then now we are into the 3 C's, right? The second C, we're still at the second C, which is contribution. Right? So we are going to talk about the first contribution that we talk about. How can you contribute back, right? Well, first was we talk about leadership. Yeah, we talk about self
Mm,
leadership. We talk about how first you lead yourself, then you lead, you influence you lead others through influencing another person's life, right? And then last week, what did we talk about? Last week we talk about, yeah, mentoring and coaching. Yeah, so another way to contribute back is through mentoring and coaching, and we talk about the 5 E's of effective mentoring, right? So the in the leadership one, we talk about the 5 levels of leadership by John Maxwell, and then the 5 E's of effective mentoring was based on Larry Julian's book, God is My Coach, right? And today we are going to finish up the contribution with support and service. Support and service. So, how does contribution looks like to you, Brenda? How does contribution looks like? Just
it-
we One way was through the leadership, right, by leading and by mentoring, and today we are going to talk about support and service. So, but before we dive deeper into support and service, what is how does contribution looks like to you when we talk about contributing, giving, contributing? Yeah, share your thoughts.
um, I think it's more about doing things from the heart, giving. Yeah,
Mm,
you mentioned giving. Uh, in many areas and aspect, we can actually even like in a small environment in a family, we also
mm,
contribute one way or the other. But sometimes we may not feel that we are contributing. It's like because it's a family, but we are still
mm,
contributing, whether it's in action or it's in words. Just doing a little bit of maybe like, okay, let's say just packing things, but the
mm,
truth is actually a contribution already. But sometimes
mm,
it's like, I'm having fun packing the thing, but actually it is a contribution. So for us as more of adults, right?
mm,
Yeah, most people actually prefer to contribute by giving in monetary term, right? More
mm-hmm.
giving, but um, it's like in Mandarin we say this phrase, 有钱出钱，没钱出力 oh, right? So it's really about
Yes.
actually
Yeah.
if we can give our time, even
Mm,
a little of our effort, ad hoc basis, in
mm,
school or any community, uh, we are also contributing one way or the other.
yes.
So I never belittle a little contribution because it all adds up to a big contribution to touch or change somebody's life or family. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, in our blueprint, the reason why we want to talk about contribution is because we want to advocate, we want to cultivate this habit of being. I mean, this characteristics of being a giver, being a
Mm,
contributor, rather than just take, 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 take. Yes, I mean we do receive from others, yeah, but we want to have this attitude of giving, yeah, the attitude of the reminder of being a contributor, making a difference in this world, right, in our own sphere of influence. Yeah, that's why we want to talk about contribution.
yeah. Because a lot of
Yeah.
people may think that, oh, I'm not rich, I don't have a lot of time, I cannot do a
Mm.
lot of big things like, be a speaker or so. Actually, just anything, any a little time, a little effort, it is also a contribution.
Yes, and that brings me to this thought about in the world out there, right? It's very common that people will say, "Oh, when I have the time or when I
Yes,
have money, then I'll
yes,
do this. Then I will, then I'll become somebody, become somebody helpful, making a difference and all that." Yeah, but I would want to challenge everyone, our
yeah.
audience, instead of have, do, then be or become.
Mm,
Why not have a shift in mindset, as in like you go by be, do, and have. Be, do, have. Yeah. So
mm,
being, the being first, being a belief, having the belief that you are a contributor, you can make a difference
yes,
in the society. Yeah.
yes,
So when we have that being, stepping into that being and that belief, right, we will start doing things
yes.
that will that will help us to make a difference, right? Yeah, so the being is the starting point, rather
Mm,
than wait until I have time.
yes,
Wait until I have the money. Yeah, like you mentioned, right, some things, some contribution, we don't it doesn't requires money.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I remember I used to have a friend who tell me that until I get my PhD, then I will start serving.
Mm, right. Yeah. So I mean, it's very common. Nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that. It's just that just being aware that this is a very
Mm,
um common mindset lah. Yeah.
yes, and it's
Right.
not necessary. Even little contribution, I think everyone will really experience a. Actually, it's not just about people getting it, but when we give a little, we actually receive more than those who.
Yes.
It's actually that process of that, right? That is so
Yes. Yes.
marvelous. It's something that you will
Yeah.
never experience if you really don't step out and just give a little. Yeah.
Yeah. When we start giving, we think that we are contributing and all, but right,
Mm.
you're right. In that process, we are actually
Receiving more.
receiving so much
Yeah.
more as
Yeah.
well. Yeah,
Yes.
in our own personal growth, right? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and exposed to different perspectives,
Yeah.
because different people with different situation, yeah, then that's where we learn. That's the
Yeah.
learning process as well,
Yeah.
right? So I know that you have you're contributing as well, Brenda. So let's share with our audience. What is the one way that you contribute? In partnership with us together. Well, how are we contributing? Uh, yeah,
Um,
in,
one way,
in
many,
middle class
many,
living and women of courage Asia.
not just one way. I think it's many, many ways.
Yeah, I know there's many ways. So we have very limited time. So let's maybe you just name a few and then we zoom in into that specific way that you have just contributed last Tuesday on Tuesday.
One
That's
of
one
the
way.
way actually, I don't call it even contribution. I should say that I'm actually receiving more. Uh,
Mm,
Leila, you know me. I don't like to be, on, like limelight talking
right.
like that, not even holding a mic, all this. But because of our vision, our mission, right, we
Mm,
want to inspire women to step out to actually contribute by sharing their story.
mm.
So, yeah, lo and behold, I have to step up. I have to step up
Have to
because,
you
yes,
choose to lah.
it's something that I know it will benefit me. So that's why I
Mm,
say it's not a contribution. It's more of for me to actually step out, conquering my own fear that has been there for really, really many years. And um, I receive more. That is why I mentioned earlier. I receive more because after that, then I realized that actually when I overcome it and I share my story,
mm,
I it seems like I actually receive more encouragement after that, and that I myself also feel that yes, actually, it's nothing so fearful,
right,
and a lot of reflection for myself that I realized that yes, over the years, I could have been really still not. I could have been still in the darkness because my
right.
story
Okay,
was about
before you went on to share more about that,
yeah.
let's backtrack a little bit. Let's
Okay.
backtrack to the mindset where, when what were some of your concerns or thoughts, right? When you're being asked to do the sharing of story of courage, because we know that in our MEM sharing story of courage
Mm.
is a very vulnerable segment, right? It's a very safe space for everyone to practice taking the courage to be vulnerable, to share their stories. So when you were first asked, Brenda, can you your turn to share what was some of the concerns and thoughts that went through your mind?
Do you remember I was actually asked since last year, but it was delayed.
Yeah, of
But
course.
I believe it's a good timing. Okay, I believe it's a good timing that we kickstart together, and it served a lot of purpose, to me. I had a lot of concern because first of all, it was a story that was untold, never, not only in public, but not even to people who are close to me. Okay,
Mm,
so
yeah.
is yes, I know, and I know that once we publicize it, I could have friends who come in and join
Mm,
in. Their intention is to support me, right? But
right.
then it means that I am being very vulnerable and totally naked.
Mm,
When I'm going to meet them, I'm going to be totally naked already because that
mm.
is what they know me, that real Brenda. Since young, what I have gone through everything. Yeah, so that was that
More about
concern.
you, lah. More about you and what you went through.
It's the other side that I didn't want people to know what I had gone
Mm,
through because I don't
mm,
want people to judge me.
mm,
Okay, woman is one very um, something that I had to overcome. That yeah, will people start judging me, or if I
mm,
do wrong in future, will
mm,
people because she was like that? That's why now she's like that.
mm.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's some form of fear of judgment,
Yeah.
right?
A lot.
Yeah.
Especially when I was reflecting, I also realized that there were a lot of things that actually I done wrong. So I
Mm,
also afraid that will I go into it again, or
mm.
am I, ready to share? No? So
Right.
all these thoughts and concerns actually came in. Yeah,
Yeah. Whether
really,
you're
really.
sharing, will the sharing bring you back into a victim's mindset, or
Right.
will you be able to successfully share it from a victor's mindset, right?
Not only that,
Yeah.
actually, to be very honest with you, um, I I also afraid that in future, if I really go into emotion again, will I actually allow myself to go into emotion again? That means
Mm.
must I live like a victory? every day. I cannot have moment that I'll be sad. Actually, that was
Ah.
a me battling, that
Mm,
means every
mm.
day we smile. I cannot have a moment that I'm sad. Otherwise, I will be like, hey, going back again, that kind of thing. Then people will like, hey, you say
Yeah.
one thing, the one thing. Yes, all this come in.
All these thoughts, are very self-sabotaging, very
Uh,
self-limiting, very self-defeating kind of thoughts, right? So
yes.
when you are first asked to share, right? So, but then how would you describe um? Okay, wait a minute. Oh, sorry, I put this on ticker. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah. So how would you describe your experience, right, of stepping out to share then, because, yeah, those were your concerns, but in the end, you say yes, right? You choose to step forward. So, and of course, we meet up to discuss about your story. We went through that whole preparation process, and so how was your experience from the preparation all the way to when you actually shared on Tuesday? And after that, how's the experience like for you?
Okay. First of all, I was like listing down all my life story. Actually, I did that even earlier, just to, get myself prepared to write a book. Yeah.
Mm,
So then in the midst of it, I was like, yeah, trying to recall, reflect, and a lot emotional, a lot
mm,
emotional. Uh, because now all these dark moment of your life, when you reflect, it will trigger all this
mm,
emotion. But I didn't know that it affected still so
mm,
much when I was
mm,
actually going through with you, when you
mm,
were getting me to put down. Um, yeah, then I was concerned again. I was concerned that on the actual day when I'm sharing it, will I cry? Will I tears again or not? So
mm,
I'm thinking like maybe I will not, because yeah, it's been so long. But lo and behold, honestly, when I was rehearsing it myself, I still tears, I still
of
tears.
course. So yes.
And yeah, it's something that I don't realize. I
Mm,
didn't expect. I should say I
mm,
didn't expect that
mm,
no matter how long the whatever happened, whenever you talk about it, the image just come, and then you still will go into that mood again. But of
mm.
course, as I do it more and more, and I pray, on that day I managed to control. There were tears. But the tears came actually more on the after effect. Seriously, yeah. So that
Mm,
experience, I must say, is a self empowerment. It's a self
mm.
empowerment. Yeah,
Right, right. I
and I
mean,
was
what at this point, right? I just want to interject here. Sorry. As for me to also to bring to awareness for all our audience out there is that, when we share, even though when we share from so in our community, we call it a victor's point of view, right? A victor's mindset, a victor's position. We will still feel emotional because we are created with emotions, so we definitely will experience the emotions. But that doesn't mean the difference will be whether you spiral back into that victim, self-pity kind of mindset, or you can still feel the emotion, but you are still standing from uh, a victor's position, right? Because we cannot shut down our emotions. Yeah. So I mentioned to one of our leaders before during one of the coaching session that even myself, when I share my stories, right, I still feel the emotions. Yeah, because we have emotion, we can't shut down our emotions. If we we think that we shut down one part of it, right, we will actually shut down the whole thing. So it is normal. Yeah, so it is normal to feel our emotion. Is how you manage the emotions. Yeah, and doesn't allow yourself to slip back into that, because when your mindset is right, you can still feel the emotion. That's normal. Yeah. So that's a very good point that you bring up. Yeah, because yeah, many out there would have felt the same way, or think the same thing, right? Think the same way that, oh, that means, I cannot feel anything, I must constantly be happy. I know our emotions will go up and down, up
I
and
think
down.
that's why a lot of people dare not step out. I mean, I'm talking about even myself when I think
Mm,
back. Dare not step out, dare not share is because we really afraid that does it mean that a one time sharing then after that you got to really, be so vulnerable and you cannot have moment of
yeah.
downness in
Like become superwoman, Wonder Woman.
correct, correct. Then all people will judge you. And then you're
Mm,
just afraid that people will comment, you're not supposed to be like that. Yeah, these are all the
mm.
my
Well,
battling.
the,
battling.
the projection of the expectation and or expectations lah, right? Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
I think that's a very good point there. Yeah. The next question is, so through this, right, what did you learn about yourself? From this experience, what did you learn about yourself? Hmm. Yeah. By the way, I didn't prep her. Yeah, this is like a pretty last minute question. So yeah, a few
Actually,
few seconds for you to reflect.
yeah. Actually, I after the whole thing lah, actually after the whole
Mm,
thing, I I I I talk to myself. Actually, I very coward lah. How come I can take so long to share? I take
okay.
so long to step up. It's
Mm,
really 没什么 after that it really just
mm,
I received so many encouragement after that
mm,
that and some of my good friend or they say really didn't know this part of you and you're so brave, if I'm the one I wouldn't even want to share a single thing. So all this
mm,
actually encouraged me that, and then some of them says that it's going definitely will touch some people who are still in darkness. And
yep,
then
yep.
if it's something that will help somebody, why did I
Mm,
take so long? So that was the first thought that I was so coward.
why you took so long, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Mm,
I think each one has our own pace of getting
mm,
ready,
mm,
because you may be just at the edge of that line, but it's just that step, that one step out, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Different ones will take different time, right? Duration, right? To be able to
It's,
step out.
it's just like what I shared about the code in the tunnel. If I
Mm,
didn't move, I was always stand there. It will always
mm,
hold the moment I move. So actually somebody actually texts me and says that that is exactly what she know. She didn't move, and
mm,
she has to move. And all this really encouraged me. And that was why I said, I should have done it earlier. But again,
mm,
lah, timing, and I know this is a good timing. Whatever
mm,
time that we share, it is always a good timing. But of course, moving from here, moving ahead, I know I'll be more ready to share.
mm,
I'll be
mm,
more ready to even to help others who are
mm,
still in darkness or ever how to we can support each other. I'm not saying that I will never go into that again. I may or I
mm,
will in situation, but at least I know I look towards that light that
mm,
I can talk to. One of them is you, my buddy, all this. Yeah.
mm. And I think more importantly is also, it's not about, just sharing. Everybody can just share, but how you share. What's your intention of sharing,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
How you share it, and share it from what kind of a perspective, what kind of standing, right? So that's why we introduced the victorious model, that
Yes.
framework to help all our leaders to prepare, to reflect on our life stories, and then look at it from a victor's point of view, so that we know how to share it in such a way that not only you felt empowered yourself,
Mm.
but you at the same time you are able to empower others, right? So
Yeah.
did you find that the victorious model was helpful in
Yes,
your
definitely.
preparation? Mm.
Definitely. It helps to at least have a more structured way of sharing because sometimes free if the airtime is given too free, we just go around the
Go
bush and
around the
then
whole world.
yes, yeah,
Right,
definitely.
right.
And we have someone who share after that also, right? So it
Mm,
actually encourage people how to go into that,
mm,
sharing. And we saw she's very brave. She's very brave.
yeah. So if you have missed our monthly empowerment meeting, to our audience, do join us every last Tuesday of the month, because yeah, you will get to experience that victorious model that we'll be talking about. How all our leaders share, based on this model. So you won't you know how to share. You feel empowered after preparing this in this manner. Yeah, and also able to inspire others, through this way of sharing. Yeah. So very thankful for that model. I chance upon it through. Of course, I modify it a lot already.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, but because based on my own personal experience and how I've been sharing my story,
Yes,
so
yes.
that became our victorious model.
Yeah.
Right.
Audience out there, if you have anything that you want to chat with us, yeah, just feel free to chat with us.
Yeah. So
We like
by
to.
contributing to the community, by sharing is one way of, by providing the support in the community, by sharing is one of the way of contribution, right? There's
Yes,
one more area that we actually contribute. That's through service, right?
yes.
Serving. Serving. I mean, of course, serving the community is also serving. But if we're talking about community service, remember we went to the Singapore Girls Home
Leaders
together.
home, yes.
Yeah, so those are community services, as well as other areas that we partner up with
And we're very
AOL,
excited, right? We are going into women
the
prison.
women's prison next. Yes, yeah, partnering with our community partner, Cindy Leong, which will also be sharing. She will be the expert speaker for our February monthly empowerment meeting. Yeah, so we are going into the women's prison together
Yes.
to conduct a personal development program. And other areas, like some of us go humanitarian work, right? We will
Mm.
go overseas,
Yeah.
to do some mission work, or humanitarian work, or you have been volunteering your time in community services, in our own, in locally as well as overseas. So these are different ways that we can contribute. Yeah.
Mm. Some
So
parents serve in a parent support group in
parent
school.
support group, yes,
You have
yes.
religious group. You can serve in the church ministry, temple ministry,
Mm,
whatever that your whatever religious group. I think nowadays a lot of all these groups that can serve.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some visits the old folks home, or elderly service centers, on a regular basis to cheer the elderly up. Yeah, so there are actually, if we take a step back and look at it, right, there's so many opportunities to contribute.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
life is not just about I, me, and myself. Right? It's about growing yourself, and then also giving yourself. Is Yeah, whatever you have, if you keep it to yourself, it doesn't add value. It doesn't. Well, yeah, so somebody got to be receiving your gifts and talents, right? Yeah. So, and there's so many opportunities out there. Yeah, depending on what your heart is passionate about. Right. For us is women, right? Empowering women, young women or women at different ages, different backgrounds. Yeah. But especially
Lilian,
those are trapped in the mindset. Mm,
yeah, Lilian, I always think, it'll be so sad, if we live our life only focusing on ourselves, our family, then
mm,
one day when we are at our sick bed, before we leave the world, then we reflect back, what have we done?
mm,
Nothing, nothing to. All the time was work, family, and then we're not contributing to anybody. I think it would be so sad. So that was
yeah.
why I decided that I should give my time or effort to serve the community or serve in one way or the other. I started since, like when children were in school, I started to serve even in little things, whatever way I can, because I don't want to live in regret. In life, it's like there are two regrets, either pain, there are, we don't want to live in like pain or regret, and not doing anything, uh, contributing to anybody in our life. So
Mm,
that was what makes me step out, really. Mm.
right, right. Yeah. I mean, that's a very good point to highlight. If for those of you, if you find that life is so, you don't know, you're seeking, you don't know um what's your life purpose about, you're seeking for an answer. Or sometimes I feel that those when I attend funerals and wakes, it does help to, like, okay, what would how would I want to exit this world, and what would people say of me when I left. We went to wake. People will sit around. You'll talk about how you were like, how the person was like, and all that, right? So ask yourself, what would people say about you? When you exit this world. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
or write
That,
an
mm,
obituary for yourself,
correct.
and
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
very
I
powerful
did,
activity.
I did.
Okay?
Yes, yes, I did, I did. That was what made me really step up. And I don't believe in contributing only after I retired.
Mm,
Seriously, after I
mm.
retired, because why? There could be a time when people leave before they
Yeah,
retire.
yeah,
Yeah.
we never know when we will exit this world, because
Yes,
we have
right.
heard of stories that you sleep and then they don't wake up the next morning, right? They
Mm,
just left during their sleep. I think that's the best way to leave, lah. But
mm.
that reminds us that it could be us also. It could be me that I don't know. Tonight when I sleep, tomorrow will I be able to wake up? And
Anytime.
have I, yeah, and have I done what I hope I can do in this world? Have I said to the person that I care and love that I appreciate them, I love them, or still bearing that grudge, that resentment? Yeah, good for your thought. So yeah, I hope that by talking about contribution, by talking about support and service, giving yourself, I hope that we can all do some reflection. All
Yes.
right. Yeah. So next, some announcements here. So next month we are going to, we do this month after month. So without fail, every last Tuesday of the month, um, our monthly empowerment meeting at womenofcourage.asia. So all the details will be there, and our community leader Jasmine, right? Jasmine will be the next one sharing. Yeah, it's also her first time sharing.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we look forward to her story of courage, right? And above and beyond that, we have community projects together. Our first one was the Voices of Courage book, right? We launched a book together,
Yes. Yes.
20 over of us coming together to launch, to contribute, contribute to that book. And then we successfully launched it during our first anniversary. So this year, our community project is our Transform with Courage Bootcamp, right?
Join us. Join us.
Yeah, we always say that it is not a 3-day boot camp. It is actually
Yeah.
a three
3 months.
months because 3 days full immersion plus 3 months of post boot camp support. Yeah.
Mm.
So we, especially during this COVID period, that's why we are coming out. We are doing this, putting all our different expertise together to roll
Yes.
out this boot camp for women by women only. Right? Yeah. So uh, check out the link to the web page so for more details. All right. So, and if you want a personal one-to-one session, yeah, you can always book a time with me for a clarity session. Yeah, we can look at your goal setting. We can look at address at what are your limiting beliefs or self-sabotaging beliefs. Yeah. So that is the link that you can click on. Okay.
Yep.
Do connect with us. Brenda has very active on her Facebook as well. Yeah. Facebook, IG, yeah, just connect with us. All the links are inside the description. Okay. Yeah. Anything else to add before we go off for our lunch, Brenda?
No, just hope that audience, yeah, do join us if you can. End of the month, every Tuesday, or
Mm,
join us for 3 days boot camp where we can come together and we can even connect uh, closer with you, and at the
mm.
same time can hear your sharing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So, yeah, I mean, we do have the social safety measures in place. So
yeah,
there's
of
social
course.
distancing and all that. So don't worry. So that is why seats are super limited
Yes, yes, really,
due to
really
that
limited.
due to that safety measure,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, we'll see you at the boot camp. We'll see you at our monthly empowerment meeting. And actually, tomorrow evening we actually have a talk, right?
Oh
Uh,
yes,
yes,
tomorrow.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Really
yeah. We
looking
have.
forward that they can join us. Yeah, I really look
Yeah.
forward to this talk because I always love the smell of the essential oil. Really,
Yeah,
wow.
it's not just about essential oil, it's also about your personality, right? So
Personality, yes.
how does personality, knowing your personality types and the knowledge of essential oil helps in
Mm.
your emotional and mental well-being. Yeah, so that will be happening tomorrow evening, 7 p.m.
Join
I
us if you
will,
can. Yes.
yeah, I'll put down the link later. I forgot about that. Yeah, thank
It's an
you.
on-site. It's an on-site, so we can see you face to face. Okay. Of
Yes,
course,
yes, yes.
safety measure as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seats are very limited as well,
Very, very
right?
limited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope to
Okay,
see
that's all.
you.
That's all for
Okay.
today.
Enjoy your
Thank
lunch,
you.
Lilian. See you
Thank you.
later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.